Good evening. Happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Radio Zombie, that's a cool name. We're going to get started here in just a minute. We got a full crew tonight, guys. It's going to be a fun show. Thanks for joining us. O'clock straight up. A lot of people in the chat. Thanks for being here early. Appreciate the chat in there, getting in there and talk to people on the early side. And we're going to switch over right there. So happy Mother's Day. And the guys in Zoom were like, how many mothers do you think are watching? I was like, my mother usually watches, but she's probably the only one. So I don't know. We'll see. Good evening to everybody. Special shout out to folks in Green Text, YouTube channel members. Thank you for joining, for your support of the channel. I see K6RDJ in there. You guys are too loud in Zoom. Vic Miller, Tom, KB8DXN, I see you in there. Stephen LeBlanc, I see you in there. Wayne, Hamshack TV, Joe Framo. Who else is in there? Cooley, I see you in there. Emerald Ernest Frank is in there. Trying to make sure I get everybody. Redman 4489, Jeff, Don KC5QQ. That's a cool name. KC5QQ. QQ. Less QQ, more pew pew. I don't know if any World of Warcraft fans are out there, but there we go. All right. Good evening to everybody. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. Oh, it's jumped up to 220 now. And I gotta get these guys brought on pretty quickly because Frank's not here, and we're gonna take advantage of having a Frank-free live stream real quick. But first off, let me say that the mystery box subscriptions have been pretty darn solid. I don't know why, but the top tier, the most expensive one, has been the most popular one, and I thought that would be flipped the other way around. I thought the $40 one would be the most popular. I sold a few of these and a few of these. The one in the middle is probably the least popular, but those are still going strong. Still got a lot of stuff going in there, and a couple of the vendors that we have on tonight, I might try to hit them up for some wholesale prices, hint, hint. And you never know what you're going to get in a mystery box. So appreciate the support on the channel for those guys. The first batch of T-shirts should be in tomorrow. They were supposed to be in yesterday. They didn't show up because the T-shirt printer shipped them via UPS, and UPS is terrible. And you can quote me on that. I don't mind saying that out loud. So, but they should be here tomorrow, and which means the first batch of boxes will go out tomorrow. I'll get them out before I leave Tuesday morning for Hamvention. So we'll see how that goes. So thanks for everybody checking that out. I'll put a link to those. You should already have a link to that if you're on my email list, but I'll put a link to that in the chat right there. And let's switch over and get everybody in here because nobody wants to listen to me tonight. Got a couple of special guests in here tonight. And let me switch over here and I'll tell you guys exactly how this came about. Oh, that's the wrong size. Here we go. Boom. Switch over there. What's up, fellas? How's everyone doing?
Hey. Howdy, ho.
Hey.
There we go. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. So... yeah, a lot of new faces in the chat tonight, a lot of familiar faces as well. So we're going to go through and welcome everybody. But Dave up there at the top, Dave, wave your hand so they know who you are. Up there, top left corner. He emails me the other day, and he's like, hey, he's going to be with Seed Studios at a booth in Hamvention, and he saw the notification about the live stream. He's like, I want to come on and talk about our booth. And I'm like, that's probably a good idea. Let's do that. And then Rob and Jonathan, is it Jonathan? No, there's too many people in my chat, guys. Yeah, other Jonathan. There's more than one Jonathan. That's cheating. There's more than one Jonathan in the chat. Rob and Jonathan were in my premiere live stream the other day. I'm like, why don't you guys come on too? and then and now we've got the Meshtastic guys joining us as well. So so we're gonna let everyone talk, but I do want to give Dave the floor first because this was kind of his idea. Dave, I stole the idea from you, and hope everyone else enjoys it as much as I know I'm gonna. So welcome, buddy. How are you? You're in Maine right now?
Yeah, I'm in Portland, Maine, in an Aloft hotel.
Okay.
Doing a project up here. I'll be flying from here straight to Dayton on Thursday.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm the official, unofficial kind of ham radio spokesperson for Seed Studios.
Okay.
We kind of partnered up. We were doing a bunch of income stuff with the T1000, and we kind of partnered up, and now I'm helping them kind of spread the word. So,
hey, Dave.
Hey.
Does that make you an amateur spokesperson?
I think I'm an amateur spokesperson.
There we go.
Look what I just found in my pocket.
Ooh. There it is.
Right here.
So, yeah, we're going to be at booth 5007 in the Hertz building. We're going to have the T1000. I'm bringing 50 of these.
Ooh. Okay.
50 of these, which is the
I think you better be bringing more like 500, but that's just my 2 cents.
Well, trying to get it is the hard part. The tariffs are kind of kicking our butt right now.
I imagine. Yeah. Okay.
A little bit of
we
challenge.
should have a solar node that we're coming out with on display.
Good.
And then there's a new device called the L1, which I haven't even seen yet, that we're going to have on display, I hope. It'll be me and Betty from Seed Studios, just kind of there to ask questions, show off the devices. And if you want to pick one up, these are going to be $48. These are going to be $73.
73. Everyone should buy one of those just because of the number.
Yeah.
73.
So
Maybe 2.
Exactly. And then we may have some of the little Xiao ESP32 kits. Still not sure if they're going to make it to the show.
Okay.
So,
And that'll be Seed Studios booth number again?
5007.
5007. Okay. Well, we'll be stopping by to talk to you guys for sure.
Right on.
So good deal, man. I'm glad you guys are going to be there. Betty, she was the one at MeshCon down in Texas a few months ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
All right. Yeah. Good. Can you get him to explain the device? Okay, so these are Meshtastic devices. And I just happened to, by some miracle, have the Meshtastic developers on the stream tonight. So, so we'll talk about Meshtastic. We're gonna talk about the Hamvention firmware that Mike just mentioned in the chat. So yeah, we will. But Dave, if you want to give a very brief, high-level overview of what those devices are, feel free.
Yeah. So this is the tracker. It's a all-in-one card, waterproof device, antenna, everything's all in one spot. You can hang it off of a lanyard, hang it around your neck, put it in your pocket. Really small, compact device. This is the indicator, which I'm trying to get it to turn back on. I've got it on a power brick right now.
Live demos, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to live streaming.
But it's kind of like the T-Deck. It's got, you can put and I'm trying to get good light, but you can put the fancy UI on it, run it completely independent. It's meant to be kind of a desktop node. It's USB powered only. There's no battery, no anything else. This actually has a case on it that Alley Cat Designs makes to kind of make it sit on the desk even better. But yeah, so this is kind of your home node. This is your travel node. We'll have the solar node on display, which should be on pre-order right now for about $86, I think. And it's yay big, all in one, no external parts or pieces. Antenna connects directly to it. It's pretty neat.
I have
And
a
then there's an
question about the
L1.
solar node.
Pardon?
I have a question about the solar node.
Yeah, go ahead.
So how many watts does it put out?
It's a good question. Don't know. I don't have that deep of specs on it yet because they haven't tried to release.
Less than one. Less than one.
Less than one, yeah.
Yeah, 22 dBm.
Yeah, I think that's what it's at.
Okay. Cool. What's the one when the white case called? What'd you call it?
The indicator.
Indicator. I might pick one of that might go well in my truck because I need something to connect to my external mag mount antenna on the truck. And
that's why I have mine. I have one in the house and
Okay.
one in the truck.
okay, maybe that's what I'll pick up. We'll see. So
Yeah,
Cool,
I
man.
think
Well-
I think that's a great device for the vehicle, right? That's touchscreen and
Yeah, it's
bigger
Right.
display.
You can put the older or the regular firmware on it, and it's got a huge display, obviously. If you just want to use it as a truck node, it's a little difficult when you start trying to chat or do anything on it with the little itty bitty keyboard that pops up.
can you connect to it via Bluetooth like a regular node?
You can if it's got
Okay.
the original firmware. You cannot if it's got the fancy UI right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
the MUI takes up that one API slot, and so you can connect
Gotcha.
to it, but they'll fight with each other. I think there's actually a way, like you long press something in the firmware, and it'll turn off the MUI, and then you can Bluetooth to it.
It's if you go to shut it down, you press the Bluetooth button.
Yeah,
I think
Okay.
if you go to like the bottom right, the bottom left corner, and then there's a tab called settings. I think that over there is a I think that's how you get to the Bluetooth settings or connect to it through Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's in the settings.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good. Cool, man. Okay. Well, thanks for being on, Dave. Feel free to hang out. You can stay as long as you want,
All right.
and we're gonna get some other folks in here. So I saw Frank join, and I know he wants to say something. So Frank, ask to unmute. I have an ask to unmute button on top of Frank's Zoom window.
It is unusual for that to
is-
happen.
That is an oxymoron waiting to happen. It's a tragedy waiting to happen. My God. Ask to unmute Frank. Okay. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I just opened up some
Uh-oh.
Akis, the single malt Japanese whiskey that
Oh,
I
yes.
got from
Nice.
Paul there.
From
Thank
Paul.
you-
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate it. And I'm enjoying that this evening. I just got off of a Youth on the Air and live stream with Neil. And I want to
Oh.
bring this up because they said they're just falling short of what they need to make the Denver goal. And they need some more help and support. So I'm dropping the donate link in the chat.
Okay.
If y'all are able to go over there and donate to them, it's a great program where they only for $100, they bring these kids over and they have a great program. There's a bunch of STEM activities, a bunch of radio activities, and some not radio activities, just having fun with kids. And it's all paid for, but by the organization. They just need your help to push them over the edge. And if you can, go ahead, donate. I'm just getting the word out more for Neil, and I think this is an awesome event. So
Good. Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
That's
Other
great.
than that,
So,
I activated a park.
That's
I
good.
went and activated Dinosaur State Park.
oh, you went
nice.
down there?
Yeah,
That's cool. Okay.
it was
Okay.
fun.
I still haven't been in there.
What else? I got Voice of America Museum, the radio club.
Oh,
contact
they
with
were on
them.
the air? Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
they stumbled
Okay.
across my little transmission, but it was fun. It was.
I
fun.
I was driving in the truck yesterday, maybe a couple days ago, and I was hunting POTA. So I was just turning the dial on the TS480 while I was hunting, and I heard some people calling back to a station. I couldn't hear the station itself, the activator themselves, but I heard W1AW call back to the activator. I was like, all right, so those guys are out there. So that was kind of fun to hear. But okay, cool, man. Thanks for being on the show tonight, and
Yeah,
Frank's in
watching
the chat watching for questions like he normally does. So
just hang out, having fun tonight.
yeah, we got a few special guests on tonight. So
I saw,
Yeah.
and I believe I talked to Jonathan before, but I am so jealous of his office. I want that office. I want that chair. I want that wooden background, or I just want everything.
that's cool.
You're missing a cigar.
Yeah, and like some kind of Republican Party emblem behind you. But yeah, no, that's. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, but for those of you who take offense, I'm kidding. So, cool. Okay, so let's move on. I'm gonna keep going here. So I'm gonna let Rob talk next because Rob and Jonathan, and I'm gonna let you guys guess which Jonathan, and then we'll see if you're right or not here in a minute. But Rob, I'm going to let Rob talk. Rob is the creator of the Spooltenna. I did a video about the Spooltenna when I was in Galveston a couple months ago. You guys hopefully have seen that on the channel. Rob, you're going to have a booth at 4 Days in May. Are you going to be at Hamvention as well, or is it just the 4 Days in May thing?
Yeah, we'll be at both.
Okay.
Both.
Good. All right. Well, tell people about your product, man, from the horse's mouth. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, first off, thanks for having me on. Kind of newer to the scene. We designed Spooltenna. It's a end-fed half wave. The uniqueness of this is it's on a spool form factor. So, you can unspool it very quickly. Put a pen or a pencil or a screwdriver and spool it out very quickly. Mm-hmm. Being on a larger radius, it doesn't put a tight kink on any of those wires that have a memory. And then it really eliminates that tangle and that probability for tangle. So we are designed this here. I designed it, and we're building it, turning into a family business.
Nice.
Here in Cary, North Carolina, just outside of Raleigh, and looking to show these at Dayton. We'll be at 4 Days in May at the vendor night. I believe that's Thursday night, and then we'll be at outdoor flea market section, 7754, and right about the middle of the infield.
Are those kits or are you buy all complete?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are those kit builds that we could pick up before Day in May, or they are a?
It's going to be pre-built.
Okay.
It'll be pre-built. Yeah. But
good.
Yeah,
okay.
Quick little deployment and easy up, easy down. It's got the built-in inside. It's got a 49-to-1 on the inside. Mm-hmm. So resonant on 40, 20, 15, and 10. All protected, and throw it in your bag in your kit, and quick for POTA.
What you didn't see in the video is that I deployed that, and I think I was on 20 meters, although I might have been on 15. I can't remember. And I had the IC705 running FT8, so I wanted to see if the device got hot or not. So I went down there, and I just guess I happened to touch it at the time it was transmitting.
It was hot, huh?
No, it was not hot. It was electric. It gave me a good zap. I'm like, whoa! Hey. I was like, okay, it is alive. So yeah,
surprised you didn't lick it.
Right. Licking a 9-volt battery.
Only one way to be sure.
I don't know if Rob saw this, but Mike was sitting here staring at the screen, kind of looking like he was gonna. How he could mod that already with his LinkedIn fed.
Of course.
Let me mention this. We decided to open source the design, so you can go to GitHub.
Okay.
And look up Spooltenna or my call sign KO4HUI, and download the KiCad files. Download it. Pull the trademark Spooltenna name off. Mm-hmm. and have at it with the make it your experimenter's platform for end-fed half waves. So we thought it was important to give back to the community and be the basis for experimentation.
That's cool.
You can buy these on Spooltenna.com. You can follow us on Spooltenna on Instagram, and we'll have them at the show and 4 Days in May.
Cool.
How many watts is that? Real fast.
The website price is $149.
Watts.
And
how many watts?
At the show, we'll do $139 at the show.
How much power is what they're asking?
Oh, sorry about that. 100 watts.
100 watts, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then 50 digital.
50 on digital, but 100 on. Yeah, that's actually kind of typical of an infant half wave. Most of them. So, okay. It worked well. I used it on 10 and 15 and 20, and I had good experience with mine. So, yeah, thanks for being here, Rob. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Looking forward to meeting you face to face in a few days here. So,
Same.
Yeah, feel free to hang out and just leave whenever you need to, but feel free to hang out with us if you want to. So
sounds good.
Cool. All right. So Jonathan from Ham Gadgets, he was the other one in the chat with me on the premiere. So these are Rob and Jonathan were in the chat, and they were talking about, and Rob was in there as Spooltenna, and then Jonathan was in there, and I'm like, dude, I should know your call sign, because he said, I'll be at 4 Days in May, we'll have a booth, and I'm like, who are you? Because I should know your call sign. Ham Gadgets. Okay, cool. So Jonathan, thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. How are you doing?
Doing quite well. Thanks for having me on here.
Yep.
Yep.
So go ahead and tell us about what you're bringing to 4 Days in May.
Yeah. So I'll be at both 4 Days in May and at Dayton Hamvention. 4 Days in May, the vendor night, of course, as well as booth 5003. It's going to be both me and Radio Dan, who's the owner of Ham Gadgets, and I'm a manufacturer, and he handles all the distribution for me. I sell different kits that are useful for the POTA and SOTA operators, specifically like the CW operators.
Mm-hmm.
I also make a radio called the CFT1, which my camera is. Yeah, the CFT1. It's a 5-band CW field transceiver with a really simple user interface and a very low noise receiver. And I could go all day talking different points about it, which I won't. I also sell NFET half-wave kits. That was the first thing I sold, and Kate and MRD and Mike knows very well about it.
Mm-hmm.
My camera is blocking it, but it's very similar to the K6ARK ones. That's ultra portable, but a little bit easier to assemble. I also do Morse code paddles. These are actually 3D printable. If you go on printables, you can print them yourself if you want. But I also sell them as a kit. I've also got paddle kits for the KX2 and KH1, and I also sell leg straps for them. So that's what I've got. But I also was asked to advertise for Adam K6ARK, Aura N6ARA, Joshua from Tufton Antenna N5FY, as well as Aaron from Modern Morse. They'll be right next to me at booth 5004. But Aaron will be at, let me see, he told me it'll be at booth 1206, 1206. The map shows Commotion, which is his dad's electrical engineering company. He'll have some new color paddles, but it'll be unlimited stock, first come, first serve. So there's the message from Aaron. And so I do hope you guys come and check us out.
Awesome.
That's CFT1, Jonathan, is a beast. That the CW on that thing is so smooth, and the user interface is amazing. I mean, you can literally sit down and just go to town on that radio. You just reminded me, Jonathan. I still have to get my review of your radio out. It's on my computer. I just remembered that I have never put that out. So I've got some video editing to do in my future.
Well, if Kyle says that it's a good CW rig, then you know it is.
Yeah, I actually used his video to help troubleshoot the iambic A versus iambic B, because the explanation they give for that can be kind of confusing, and his explanation was very intuitive. So I used that to figure out that with Evan K2EJT helped me get that, and that's the reason why it's so robust.
Yeah, that was Adam who gave that presentation. But yeah, on my CW operators roundtable, we decoded iambic A versus iambic B, and there are some differences. You got to watch the video to figure it out, but there are differences.
I'm just still trying to figure out the difference between K and R right now. So
that is probably your first good. That's a first good step.
Yeah. Being that my call sign is not LC5 HWB, but Kyle and I came up with an idea for a T-shirt, and it's going to say URHNN, and it's just URHNN, and it's just going to say that on the phone, and then. And everyone who's ever screwed up CW before should get that. So, but yeah, if some of you are like, "What does that mean?" I don't know.
Go take a look at a 5 and an H.
Right, exactly. So cool, man. Thanks for being on here, Jonathan. I'm looking forward to meeting you. I'm pretty sure I met you last year.
Yeah, I think we shook hands and spoke briefly, probably at the pub, Brew Pub.
Could be, but I was at 4 Days in May also. Yeah. Were you there last year?
Yeah, it was my first year there.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure that I met you there, and then we were at the Troll Pub last year, and we're going to be at the Troll Pub again this year. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about that upcoming. But thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you guys coming on and presenting tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. All right, so we're just going to roll in now to Meshtastic, and I know that let's see, how many people do we have on from? I know Garth and Jonathan and Austin.
Yeah, I think it's just the three of us.
Just the three of you, okay. Yeah. And I know that Rob down there, W5ITR Rob, he's done some videos about the new Hamvention firmware.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys would give us, let us know what. Well, first of all, I believe the URL is hamvention.meshtastic.org. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Frank, if you want to type that up and put that in the chat. I did share that in my email blast today, so again, hopefully you guys are part of my email list. But yeah, so tell us what
I think it's probably more fun to talk about Hamvention last year. And
yes, I was about to start there. I was about to start with that. Yes, yeah.
Contact.
So let's do that.
Yeah, Hamvention 2024 was where we realized we had a problem. We had a big problem. Meshtastic hadn't been big enough for it to be a problem until then. That was the first time that enough people got together in the same place. And then what made that worse is that somebody went and flipped the MQTT stuff on. And so not only was there the local traffic, they were taking, we run an MQTT server where people can bounce off of that from anywhere around the world. Somebody was taking all of that traffic, sucking it into their node, and then rebroadcasting it locally. And, everybody's radios virtually melted down as a result. It was chaos.
Yes, it was.
And so that's when we first really started looking at it and going, okay, we have enough people in the same building now at some of these events. Hamvention is one of the big ones. DEF CON is another one since then. We had a bunch of nodes at DEF CON. So we started asking ourselves, what can we do to fix this? And what came out of this was the convention firmware. And so we put everybody on a faster speed of, more bandwidth, less airtime, different channels so that we're not competing with the defaults. And then we go and we do some things like, let's send less telemetry. Let's send telemetry less often. Let's basically all the things that the firmware does by default that make sense when there's up to 100 people. A lot of that doesn't make sense when you've got 1,000 people together or more than that. And so there's a lot of those things that are in there that are cut down. One of the other big things that we did is since Hamvention last year is on the MQTT server, we actually zero hop all of that traffic, which means that even if you go in and do the same thing that the guy did last year, say, I'm going to download all of this, your local node's not going to rebroadcast it. So you only melt your local node and not everybody else. I'm going to let Garth and Austin get in on this too, because they've done a lot of the legwork on thinking this through and making the builds work, particularly is what Austin's had his hand in.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm Austin. I do all of the Linux packaging, and I've been having a lot of fun getting into the build process also.
You automated the building of the special convention firmware too, right? It's not just the Linux stuff.
Right. Been getting more into that stuff. Lots of fun.
Now, is this specific firmware? Well, I've got two questions about it.
Yep.
You guys had some hand in the settings. We didn't have specific firmware, but we had a specific settings we used at Hamcation in Orlando last February, and we went through and just kind of changed like 3 or 4 settings in just kind of the default firmware, and it worked beautifully that time. So I guess that it's changing the number of hops and changing it from long fast to short fast and changing like one other thing and turning off MQTT if it's on, obviously.
Yep.
But there was one other change in there as well. Is that kind of what the convention firmware is doing for you automatically?
Right. So it's doing all of those things. We also added some fancy branding. I can actually show this off. We just added it.
Uh-oh.
Come on, baby.
I don't know. Live demo.
Right.
Fingers.
There you go.
Show me the ham.
If it comes up, it's really bright.
It's coming. Oh, you can kind of see it. It's the ham.
It's a ham. It's a ham emoji.
It's a ham.
It's a ham. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
That's great.
That's funny. That's good.
That's
great. Flash again. We're having a lot of fun with this. And this is actually the first time we're using the short turbo mode. It's 500 kilohertz wide instead of 250. You can text yourself dictionaries on this thing, and it's almost instantaneous. So we're really excited to see how that's going to play out.
So is the turbo mode new, or is that something that's been around for a while?
It's been in there for quite some time. We've just never used it at this scale before.
Okay.
It is the newest of the presets. Maybe it's been in there about a year, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
How will the new firmware deal with distance? In other words, what kind of coverage do you expect to get using the under Hamvention settings?
Yeah, it's going to be less. It's going to be less distance from each individual, but you've got so many people in the same place, and the fact that it's meshing, they're going to rebroadcast each other. You know, like we said, we did DEF CON, and they were in Vegas, and distance was not a problem. We ran with the short fast there. I don't think we went to short turbo, but there's just so many nodes. The problem you run into is not distance. The problem you run into is airtime contention.
Okay, that's good to know.
So I flashed my
Carlos. Carlos is probably jumping out of an airplane right now. That's why his internet's wonky.
yeah.
So he took his chair with him this time, which I thought was strange. But Kyle, you had something. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah. So I flashed my node with the Hamvention firmware, and so obviously I'm going to use it during Hamvention. Whenever I come home from Hamvention, do I need to reflash it or flash it with another version that you guys are going to put out, or can I use the Hamvention version whenever I'm just, tooling around St. Louis here?
So, I mean, we changed a lot of things in the event firmwares. One thing I forgot to mention, we've baked in 3 channels this year, all with different encryption keys that are not, compatible with the main mesh. And that's kind of on purpose.
Okay.
So if you went and took this home, then you'd be a party of 1, unless you went and changed all the settings back anyways. So
well, sometimes that's the best thing for me.
Right.
So that was
yeah.
My question was about the existing channels you have, because we've got some custom channels for the North Texas area here where I am. If I flash this Hamvention firmware, is it going to nuke everything I have in my custom settings that I've already set up? It will.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
this is why you should have more than 1 or maybe more than 10 Meshtastic nodes, so that you can set one up for all these different events and whatnot. So all right.
So Jonathan and Austin, I was going to ask about that because I was doing my nodes today, and I'm an IT guy, so I can get in and do the command line and pull my keys out and stuff like that and back it up. Are you guys going to have a routine that's maybe a little bit more user friendly for something that would be a little bit more adoptable for, we'll say Mike, for example, since he blatantly says he doesn't know anything about computers.
That's true.
Yeah, it's not in there yet. That is something that we've talked many times about. Okay. It's like trying to figure out how does particularly those keys, right? The PKI keys. How do you back those up? How do you make it easy for the normal user to back it up? I think Garth probably can talk about this. Garth does a lot of our kind of user experience stuff that he thinks through. Do we have a solution rolled out anywhere yet?
So for the channel settings, you can use a QR code, right, to go back and forth between the different settings and keep the channels in place. You can go to Hamvention and not use the event-specific firmware and flash a device with the QR code. It won't add every one of the settings in that case, but you can. The QR codes are meant to be the sort of easy for general people to use to move around. And one of the things that just Meshtastic in general wants to get better at is moving around between the presets. So we have 12 different presets. Whatever the number is, I don't know if that's totally right, but a reasonable amount of presets. And most of the traffic, because people kind of want to be able to communicate with the big public network in areas where they're at on the default channel, we have like 99% of the people on long fast on slot 20 in the US. That comes out to 906 or whatever it is as far as the frequency. And so moving around to presets that work better for the terrain, for the, a metal building in Ohio with hundreds of people packed into it is a use case where the distance really doesn't matter. LoRa stands for long range, but it's kind of irrelevant, right? You could use a walkie-talkie in there. And so we're using a much faster preset to be able to just handle all the activity all at once. And so getting better as a community and with all the different community groups and moving around for different use cases is one of the things that we really want to work on over probably the next year or so, rather than just creating a brand new version of Meshtastic that kind of turns off all of the old, but rather using all the stuff that we do have and moving people to different places for different use cases, right? So if you're out and you're hiking and the distance is super important, long fast works great for that. If you want to be able to communicate with other nearby nodes, it's great for that. If you're really worried about having a small encrypted group and you want faster communications and things, there's presets available for those things as well. The long moderate preset is really good if you want a little extra distance. It goes really slow in many cases, so you kind of watch the text messages go out and come back. So one of the things, just as a project that we want to get better at, is getting people to use the different presets. And
except for very long slow, don't use that one.
Can't anymore.
It's gone.
Oh, we did finally kill it. Okay, good.
Very long slow. That's
so
it's
it's probably like the 160 meter band. It just takes too much effort, right?
Well, no, most people's hardware couldn't support it. Actually, you had to have like a really, really tight temperature control oscillator to even be able to send and receive on it. And so many devices didn't have the tolerances tight enough to do it. And so people will go, oh, mine goes to 11. Let's go to the longest. Because of course, that's what we all do. I want to see how far I can get this thing to go. And the performance would just be terrible on about half the devices out there.
So now that I have a better cell phone signal, my question, perhaps maybe I didn't hear the answer. How does the Hamvention firmware deal with distances of perhaps 20 miles away from the event, presuming the antenna is in a very tall location?
I would anticipate that would work if you've actually got line of sight.
Right. Me too.
That is kind of a long shot for the short turbo. But again, line of sight, Laura, is just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly, you can do a repeater. You can do a repeater over the internet. There are ways to make that work. But if you've got it up high enough and it can actually see it, I bet it'll go through.
Well, my intention is to hopefully link some people up from the Cincinnati area for a few minutes at a time into Dayton, just to see how well the mesh behaves.
You going to jump with one, Carlos?
I've been jumping with one for about a year, and I was with Hamvention last year.
Okay, so you're the reason why the network got so clogged, because you were pulling in.
I didn't get a chance to do it this weekend because I did.
Hey, I've got a quick question.
Go ahead, Rob.
I was joining the show.
Hold on. Right, Carlos, your internet's still kind of in and out, buddy. We're trying to listen to you. All right, go ahead, Rob.
All right. So, as Jason had mentioned, we had really good luck at Hamcation. We used short fast. We limited the hops. One other thing that we did set, and I'm curious, I see you guys did not set that, and we didn't know for sure. We just went based on the description. Was changing the rebroadcast mode. We set that to local only. And I was curious.
Yeah, if everybody sets it to local only, you might have a problem. But let me put it this way. I'm trying to remember exactly what we said, but like if you have 5 nodes on your person, you should set 4 of them to not rebroadcast. That way you're not just a walking echo chamber as you walk around.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay, I never thought about that. Okay.
Yeah, we were torn on this when we were talking about the event firmware in the first place for Dayton, defaulting to client mute, where that's not the case. But if everyone's not aware of those distinctions, then you don't have a mesh anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And admittedly, the titles on those different rebroadcast modes are suboptimal, and you kind of have to go digging around in the documentation to figure out what they do. And in some unfortunate cases, you have to go digging around in the firmware to understand what they do. I say that the documentation is actually really great. We've got some really good people working on it, but the names in particular are not stellar in some cases.
That makes sense. Okay.
Cool. But yeah, it worked great at Hamcation.
It did.
Just tuning a few things made a world of difference.
I got to figure out if I can back up I might leave my pocket node on the default, because sure enough, someone's going to be there with a default setting on a Meshtastic node.
Oh, absolutely.
But I might try my whatever the Spec 5 version of the T-Deck is the one I've got with the new UI and whatnot. It's self-contained. It's got its own keyboard.
Oh, the Ranger. Yeah.
The Ranger. Yeah, that's the Ranger. So I might flash that with the Hamvention firmware and kind of see where that goes from there. But
let me see this connector that's any better. Can you guys hear me better now?
Little bit better. Yeah.
All right. So let me just cut to the chase and go. Where should I go to ask the questions that I have before Hamvention so that I can ask them and have an appropriate deployment for my use?
I would say jump on Discord.
Yeah.
Jump on the Meshtastic Discord, ask there. And there's a bunch of people that will have an idea. And honestly, part of the answer is going to be, we're not 100% sure. Make sure and let us know how it works.
No one's ever put a 14,000 foot antenna on one of these, Carlos. So
I have. Well, the thing is, I've joined the Chicago Mesh from Rochelle, and then a repeated packets into the Quad Cities Iowa Mesh, and there were people talking on it and saying, "Hey, is that an airplane that's rebroadcasting for us?" And while I was up, they were able to go back and forth. Mm-hmm. So, but that was with the default settings or the default firmware. I just don't know how it's going to behave with the Hamvention firmware. So that was really where we're at.
Yeah.
There's one way to find out, I guess.
James can build you a Yagi antenna for your parachute rig.
The local only works. So in the case, Robert, where you deployed a QR code for Ham Nation, the reason that local only worked is because that key. Local only means we don't rebroadcast stuff if we can't decode it, right? So your node had the key, so it was rebroadcasting things. And so that's basically what that is doing. So if you pre-shared a QR code and everybody was using the same key, then that works great. If you're trying to provide infrastructure for other people, like who are using their own key, private groups, they would not be taking any advantage of the other nodes that are nearby. So that's where that would be an issue potentially, but in an event case, that probably is a setting that it would be fine for us to put in place, because if we're sharing all three channels and doing the local only, that would rebroadcast any of those three. So
except for DMs, except for DMs, Garth, we would kill DMs
with local only.
I think so, because you can't. That's the whole point, man. People in the middle can't decrypt them. Honestly, I would have to go into the firmware and look at exactly how it handles that. But my suspicion is that local only would not forward DMs.
Forward DMs, it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't seem to have any trouble with DMs, but maybe there was enough people that were not configured in that way that maybe it was carrying it. I don't know.
That's
but
possible.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, would that reserve some bandwidth if you did turn that on as well? Again, just thinking of a really big event.
I think the way that probably it would reserve potentially a little bit, but probably the best guidance is, again, if you've got more than one node, or multiple people are going to be together, if you have more than one node together in the party, turn most of them on to client mute. That way they don't rebroadcast anything. Because every rebroadcast is airtime, right?
Yeah.
And even if a remote node can't pull down the entire message, it may still see, hey, there's a preamble there. I'm going to shut up and listen for a minute. And so every rebroadcast kind of sucks from that shared airtime. So anything you can do, and that's essentially what the special firmware is. It is what can we do to figure out how to get off of that shared airtime? How can we shut up as much as possible with each individual node? That way there's plenty of bandwidth for everybody.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool.
Good. Do we have a link for the Meshtastic Discord?
We can get you one.
I don't think that. I'm not sure if I'm a member of that or not, honestly.
What?
Meshtastic.org.
What?
Like the Discord logo.
Why would I have not joined? So we've got a DFW Discord for Meshtastic, and I'm a member of the Austin Meshtastic group, but that's not you guys.
We've got a North Texas one as well.
Yeah, North Texas and Austin. I'm a member of both of those, but I'm not seeing that. Okay, I'll go try to find that. Frank, do you want to go try to find that? Go to meshtastic.org and see if you can find a link to Discord on there somewhere. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Guys, thank you very much. all three of you, thank you very much for being here.
Yep, absolutely.
Appreciate that. Oh, Garth put it in the chat, Frank. Just share that in the chat of the Garth put it in the Zoom chat. Share it in the live stream chat if you would, please.
He said that as soon as I got it. Thanks.
Thanks. There you go. Or Robert. Okay, Robert just shared it. There you go. Cool. All right. I wanted, guys, thank you for being here. I want to try to give everyone as much time as we can here. So I'm not trying to rush anybody. If anyone has any questions, comments, or anything else about something you want to say, please feel free. There's not, we're very shoot from the hip around here. So, James joined us, and I asked him to join us from Quirky QRP because he's doing in lieu of the fact that Josh and Jason are not doing their, what do you call it? Their scavenger hunt thing.
Scavenger hunt
challenge. Yeah, they're not doing that this year. So James has set up something new that he told me about earlier today. So go ahead, man. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's a little. Thanks for having me. It's a little impromptu. I was really hoping those guys were going to do that again because it was really cool when I think the first year they did it was 2023, which was my first year at Hamvention. So that was great. So what I'm doing is a little bit of a fox hunt. I'm going to have a 5 milliwatt CW beacon on the 1.25 meter band. So anyone can find the frequency and try to track it down. And whoever tracks it down and then hunts me down will get a prize. I'll have a few prizes in my backpack that I'm hauling with me. And if things go quickly, I might start giving up, taking down some names and call signs and giving away some t-shirts if I run out of prizes on hand. And then of course I'll have, a backpack full of stickers that I'll be handing out to the winners and anyone who can, if I'm still doing it after all the prizes are gone, I'll be handing out stickers. If things go slowly and people are having trouble finding it, which they might, I have a fallback position for like halfway through Saturday. If people are not finding it Friday or Saturday, I'm going to be monitoring some quirky non-ham frequencies. And if you can find me on unsaid frequency or frequencies, as I will be hopping around, and make contact with me, you win and get a prize. But you still got to hunt me down in person at the show.
Okay.
And there are many ways to hunt me down, I will say, but that's up to you.
He's been known to be at the campsite before, so I'll just put that out there too.
Damn it!
just stick that thing on a scooter. And let everyone go wild.
Oh yeah, roving fox hunt.
That would be hysterical. Be awesome. Just like get a magnet and just as somebody's driving by, just stick it to him.
Stick it on. I was right here. He was right here. Oof! God.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I think what James is saying is he's going to be on MERS and probably using some salty language. Because who cares? So you guys bring your MERS radios.
Not just MERS.
Not just MERS. It'll be in Carlos's pack. Jody says it'll be in Carlos's pack. That's good. I like that.
Is that the one that falls out of the airplane, or?
Yeah, it's going to land on some guy's house. Yeah, it's going to land on some guy's house somewhere. So cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, the beacon frequency is going to probably change every time someone finds it and gets a prize. That way people aren't trying to cheat the system.
Yeah.
And groups, if people are working together as a group, then it's just one prize for that group.
If
you show up in a group, you're getting one prize for tracking down the fox. Let's see. Yeah, I'm starting Friday.
So where do we find what frequencies you're listening to?
You got to scan through through the band.
There you go.
It's going to be somewhere between 222 and 225. For those of you who don't know the 220 megahertz band, it'll be between 222. It's only 3 megahertz bandwidth, so
somewhere in there.
Shouldn't be too hard.
And it's a CW signal.
So it's probably at the bottom of the band.
And it's only going to be 5 milliwatts.
5 milliwatts.
Well, it's a 220 band, so that'll probably go pretty far on the 220 band.
You don't need much at Hamvention.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to pack my 220 Yagi.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get your attenuators out.
Oh yeah.
Kyle, can you record a pre-recorded the frequency is in use message for me?
Please copy.
I will do it for a fee. Anything is available for a fee.
For a fee. Professional services, right?
We had talked about using the 220 megahertz frequency as our YouTubers meet us here frequency. In the past we've used 146.45, and we used that at Hamcation, and we used it last year at Huntsville, and we used it at Hamvention last year. But there were a couple guys talking on Fusion on that frequency at Hamvention last year, and there's just a lot more people on the air. So some of us are going to be monitoring 223.500. So if you have a 220 HT, bring it with you. And national FM simplex calling frequency for 220 is 223.5. You might find there might be some people on it, and if so, we might move off to like 223.550 or something like that. But if you're going to find people on the 220 simplex frequency, Hamvention would be the place that you found them. So because there'll be a lot of people in the air that weekend. But yeah, if you guys have a 220 HT, bring it with you, because we're going to be doing some of that. So, James, thank you very much for being here tonight, buddy.
The Quanshank, that's a 220, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. There's a Quanshank that does the new the BF F8 HP Pro from Baofeng Tech does the that new Waxon KQ or Q10H or whatever it is. It's a quad band, but it has 220. I'm going to be carrying my D75 because I'm fancy. So
you can open up a lot of Baofengs using Chirp.
Yeah.
And you go, I forget what I did a video about it, but you can basically change the frequencies. It's different than unlocking it to transmit like outside of the bands. But you just open up in Chirp, and for a lot of the Baofengs it works. So if you don't have a 220 radio, but you have a Baofeng, you can probably get it to work on 220. I don't know how much power it puts out. It didn't even register on my meter. But for around, just for around Dayton, I mean, hell, if it's putting out, a couple milliwatts, you should probably be out. So
has anyone unlocked a 1.25 meter band on the TK11 yet? Anyone heard anything about that?
I don't have one of those.
I didn't get my hands on one yet.
Yeah.
It's the new Quanshank.
I got one.
Yeah. Yep. So, anybody else in the chat? Is it Freddie Mac? I think maybe this is you. Is this your first time at Dayton this year?
Actually, I got to go last year. Remember?
Did you? Okay.
Got me that RV spot.
Oh, right. That's right. That was your first time.
That was my first.
Okay, good. Is anybody in the Zoom? Is this going to be your first year at Dayton? Josh, it's your first year?
Yep, first trip.
Paul, it's your first?
Yep.
Okay, Paul, Dave, Josh, Mike raised his hand, but I know he's lying. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's the VX8, right? VX8 or the VX6, the Yaesu. You're muted, Mike. I can't hear you. I probably shouldn't tell you that.
VX7R.
Oh, that's the 7.
This is
the
good
7.
one.
Yeah, I like my VX6R. I tell you what, and if you unlock if you Mars mod, it does add the 6 meter band to it. So
it's not. It's not as good as this one. I don't know why they discontinued this and kept the 6. Doesn't make sense.
I'm not sure why they did that.
Yaesu be Yaesuing.
Yeah, that's right. So cool. Okay, so Dave, you're going to be at a booth. Josh, you're going to be walking around recording videos, I assume. You don't have a booth, do you?
No, I'll be walking around filming.
Paul, what are you doing?
I have no idea yet.
It's best to go without a plan.
There's a slight plan, and it's Friday. Do the things that I want to see and do, so I make sure I see and do those. Saturday, other stuff, but this Meshtastic thing is good. I'm hoping to get my Meshtastic thing set up right, and I think between everybody there, I'll be able to do so. But yeah, it's my first time. I'm excited. I'm gonna, on my stream later, I'm gonna go through things and figure out what to do and kind of plan it so that I don't miss the things I want to do.
Your mind is about ready to be blown.
That's right.
Yes, it is.
What is this
Mike's been warning me.
Thing you're talking about?
By planning, I mean, like, if there's, like, I want to do the Yaesu hands-on. I want to go see the FTX hands-on.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure everybody's going to be over there for that.
Yeah. So stuff like that, or if there's a class or whatever, I want to make sure I go see it.
I just show up and go where the winds take me because it's huge.
Or
you
I'll
have
just
a
follow
plan.
Frank around.
That's a lot of
And it
wind,
just-
Frank. So,
Well, I create a lot of it, so.
No, I'm just
I
excited.
I take that back. Kyle was a good producer at Moore.
I'm excited to meet a bunch of guys too. There's guys here in this group and other groups and people on that are in the chat there that are going to be there. So it's going to be fun to meet a lot more people.
So our meetup spot is going to be, I have a campsite. It's the same campsite I've had for the last 23, 24. This will be the third year. This will be the third year I've had this campsite. I think. No, fourth year. This will be the fourth year I've had it. If you don't know, if you know anything about, if you don't know, this may not make sense to you. I don't know how to, maybe I can, with 3 words it once I get there. I was talking about that last weekend on the live stream. But if you come out of the building where Gigaparts and Yaesu are, which is the
building 3.
Is that building 3, Vince? Okay.
That's the same building I'm in.
Okay.
There's only a map.
Okay. Yeah, there is a map, but I'm not looking at the map. I don't remember the names. So if you come out of the back of that building, so the front door to all the buildings is in the little vestibule area where the food trucks are and whatnot. So if you come out of the back of that building, between Gigaparts and Yaesu, or closer to the Gigaparts side, which they're in the back, they're pretty much in the corner. They're not the last thing in the corner, but they're almost. You come out and you look towards the back of the venue, you'll see a big antenna tower with a Yagi on it back there. And I guess that's the I don't know which ham radio shack that is, but it's a ham shack. And that's a building that they have, a lot of times they have some forums in that building. So if you look at that and go to the left, we're the second row of RVs back there. And if you just kind of start walking back there, get on the frequency 223.5 or 146.45, and once you get close enough, if we're there, you're going to hear us. I mean, we're not going to be real quiet or anything.
Just look for the degenerates.
Yeah.
The rowdy bunch.
So we're going to try to get Carlos to land in the RV spot at some point in time, but we'll probably get kicked out after we
were
make
supposed
that happen,
to keep that quiet.
Oh, sorry.
It was supposed to be an emergency landing.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it's emergency landing.
I was going to say, if they're not going to allow drones, boy, if they land Carlos, man, what a mess.
Oh, boy. But that's going to be our spot, and we'll be there off and on during the day. It's just kind of like a chill out. I'm tired of walking. Let's sit down for a little bit spot out there, so everybody's welcome. Bring a chair. If you're driving to Hamvention, bring a chair or 2 or 3. We will have chairs, but we won't have enough chairs for everybody, so bring your own chair.
I have a follow-up on that note.
Okay, Frank, go ahead.
If you bring your chair, we appreciate it if you also leave with your chair.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Take it with you. We don't want a bunch of extra chairs to take home. So,
hey, Jason, I got the map up. You want to make the big screen?
Yeah. Hold on. Can you share? I don't think I turned that on. So I'll turn that on. And Kyle is. How do I? Oh, there it is. Okay. It says Jason is talking on the Zoom.
Okay.
I can't.
All right, so I'm going to talk. So I'm on the big screen. So you got the 3 buildings, the 3 big buildings.
Yes.
And then you got the track, right? So that's the big.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So the Gigaparts booth is in this building. So if you come out of this building and walk across Sugar Creek Street, there's 2 big lots here where the RVs sit. If you come down to the second lot down here, kind of in the middle, a little bit.
It's on the other side of the road from there.
Yeah, so a little, probably 60% into that second lot. It's right there, right where my cursor is.
It's actually across the road from where your cursor is.
I thought it was
the fence.
No,
it's right there.
we're on the second street, but on the left side.
Oh, you're right here. Yes. Yeah,
correct.
you're right here. Yeah,
we're on the left side. That's correct.
Yep, right here.
So that little street that looks like it's up above you right there, it's just kind of a walking path, and some people can. It's not really a road there. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's like right
exactly.
here.
It's right there. Yep. That's it. That's where it's at.
Also, to point out, if you zoom out, Kyle, the swap meet area is going to be that whole horse track, that green field just to the northwest of it, that area there, and also they said behind the buildings this year and more in between. It's like going to be swamped with swap meet area.
It's expanded quite a bit.
Yeah, so it's down here, right? So that's one area. The second area is the bigger areas here, but you're saying, and there's also some swap meet
right
like
there.
around here too.
Yeah, but also behind, I think building 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, back here?
No. Scroll out behind Gigaparts and the Flex buildings.
You gotta be kidding me, really?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's correct. That used to be vendor parking.
Yeah, that's
Holy
all swap meet.
Wow.
Swap
They're
meet
gonna.
right now.
So where are the vendors gonna park?
Someplace else.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness! I didn't realize that they were putting. I didn't realize they were putting swaps back there.
You know, I wonder if they're going to put them in that area where they put like the emergency vehicles and stuff, because that never gets filled.
Yeah,
That's
like
true.
right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
right here. Well, 3 or 4 years ago, there were like some big tents, and they had actual vendors.
Yes, they did, and that's one of the years that it rained, and some people got muddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, that is true.
Interesting. Okay,
What?
very good.
Rain at Xenia? Get out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
no
out.
kidding,
Yeah.
right?
Whoever heard of such a thing? Goodness.
Okay, you're talking about swap meets. I have one question, Jason.
All right.
How much cash should I bring to not go overboard?
All of it.
Dude, that's totally up to you, man. That's totally up to you. I mean, there are ATMs there, so you know you can get yourself in trouble even if you don't bring enough cash.
Early in the morning, if you're relying on those, hit them.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. Very true.
I guess the better question is, Paul, is how much can you take back with you?
Yeah, because you will find 12 things you can't live without.
Yeah, I'm flying, so I'm not worried about going too crazy.
Just ship them home.
But I heard that I can have Jason bring it home, and then Frank's just going to stay in Dayton.
There you go. I'm flying back.
I think that Paul, I somehow I kind of feel like you might have an in somewhere to get stuff checked on a flight. I think that might be a little bit easier for you than most people. I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way, but
I'd probably do what Bill does, and that's just FedEx it. We get a discount.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, that's true. Bill's not here tonight. I thought we'd see him. He might be working, but I don't know. So, Kyle, while you're up there on the screen, why don't you tell us about the Troll Pub? Because we've got a couple of different things we're doing this year. Same venue, but long story short, they I don't want to throw them under the bus, but we didn't have as good an experience there last year as what we have in the past. But I think we have that fixed. So,
well, we have that fixed in theory, right?
In theory, yeah.
So I've been communicating with the Troll Pub people, and they told me that, quote, we will have 2 or 3 servers for you on Saturday nights. So let me back up. Troll Pub was something that we put together 3 or 4 years ago to get everyone together, to meet the YouTubers, to just have a social hour and whatnot. And the Troll Pub was very fitting because, you know, people are trolls on the internet.
Yes.
So
never.
No, never. So the first year that we did this, we rented out like half of there's like a sidebar. We rented out half the bar or half the sidebar, and then we spilled into this patio area, which is great. Couple of years go by, we get more and more people, and then last year we kind of had an issue where people showed up like at 3:00 in the afternoon. The thing didn't start till 5. We usually run a tab and people put into the tab, and that was not communicated correctly. It was a mess. So what we are doing is I went back and said, okay, time out. We got to redo this. I talked to the Troll Pub, and what we're going to do is instead of the sidebar that we've had in years past, we are actually roped off in the dining room for 50 to 60 people. The event starts at 5 p.m. Don't get there beforehand. If you get there beforehand, just go to the bar and have a drink on your own dime. And then wait until myself or Jason get there, or somebody that knows, you know, kind of is the coordinator of this thing. Let us get situated, and then we'll bring everybody into the dining room. You guys can eat and drink and socialize there. We'll get the bill figured out. We'll get all of that stuff ironed out. And then once everybody is like done eating and drinking, then we can migrate up to the bar and go out to the patio and do our normal thing. So that is the thing that we wanted to communicate is the Troll Pub is on. We've got new things going on. But don't. The problem was people showed up early and said, "Oh, I'm part of the YouTube bunch or the ham radio bunch," and then stuff started to fly, and we had an issue. So don't go over to the bar, have a drink over there, and wait for some people to show up to give direction, and then we're all going to sit down together. We're all going to socialize, and we'll figure it out from there. But it's going to start at 5 p.m.
And to clarify, in years past, the first year we were there, they made us put a $250 deposit down. Now, to be fair, I gave them my credit card number. They never actually charged me $250 as a deposit. They never charged me. But they said that if we're going to rope off a section for you and you don't spend $250, you're going to have to pay this $250 deposit. And we're like, okay, that's fine. We'll probably. It was not an issue, trust me. So when we got there that year. And the following years, I just went ahead and said, look, you guys already have my credit card. I will just cover the first $250, and then let me know when all these people that are here in our section, when the total bill gets to $250, let me know and we'll cut it off. And I did that. And Josh came in behind me, Mike came in behind him, 2 or 3 or 4 other people came in behind there. But that was totally voluntary. That's not, we don't want, and I'll probably do that again this year, but I can't speak for anybody else. So, it's totally, don't expect to have your bill paid for is what I'm trying to say. We like to cover as much as we can because you guys are great to us on the YouTube community, but that is totally, there shouldn't be any expectation. And somebody last year was like, well, I thought the YouTubers paid for all this. Well, no, that's not really how it worked the first few years. It's just that some people, myself and 5, 6, 7 other people, and a lot of you guys, a lot of you watchers, I know last year there was at least 2 or 3 guys who were just channel viewers, not even YouTubers, and they were just there for us because they watch all of us, and they're like, oh, I'll pick up the next $200 or $150 or something. So it was very generous of the community that was there. But just don't expect that unless you get there and ask what the deal is, and if they say, well, there's nobody paying right now, then just expect to pay for yourself.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so that's the thing on Saturday night. So
Saturday night, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Hey, Kyle.
Yes.
Thank you for organizing all this, man. I know this cannot be easy. It's got to take time. Thank you for handling all this.
Well, you're
Absolutely,
welcome.
Yeah.
And whenever it burns down like it did last year, everyone can send their hate mail to Carlos.
K8MRD@gmail.com.
Right.
iCloud.com.
You send it at Gmail all day long, buddy.
Yeah. K8MRD@iCloud.com.
And you might make it into a future episode of Mailbag Monday.
Yeah. Kyle has done a lot of legwork to get this because we were basically determined to drop Troll Pub and go somewhere else last year, and I guess Kyle got with them and kind of ironed everything out. So
they're on a pip. They're on a pip.
They're on a pip.
You screw up one more time. And
that's it.
And see, getting a Dan next, or how does that work?
And this is why Kyle is the project manager.
That's right. Yeah. People who don't work in the IT world don't understand that, but I got that. I totally got that. Not that I've ever been on a PIP myself, but it's all good. So
Kyle,
thank you,
regulator.
Thank you, Kyle, for doing that. Charlie, I see Charlie join and I see Vince join. I want to hear from you guys, and I know there's 2 or 3. I think I've let everyone talk. Josh, you haven't said much. Let me think. Let me scan through here. So yeah, let's get Vince. Let's get you. I'm going to give you the floor, buddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, good afternoon, noon. Better late than never. Mother's Day supper. Yeah. It's going to be so great to see all of you guys down at Xenia this year and at the Troll Pub. I am so excited. I forgot my prop, and I am ready with stickers.
Ham smarter. Okay, there
we are ready with stickers. And
what a stupid sticker.
I know. Buddy, if you're coming into booth 3011, you're going to be wearing one. That's all I'm saying.
Man, that's going on the cooler, brother.
So I'm super stoked to be there. You'll find me down there in the Ham Radio Workbench booth most of the time, with booth 3011, 3012. That's in the rear corner of the Building 3, Marconi Building, same building as Gigaparts and Yesu, that's the word I was looking for, and a whole bunch of other really nice people. So That's cool. Friday at noon, I'll be in Creators Corner just for an hour doing a meet and greet. That's booth 4211. Thanks to Ham Radio Dude for setting that up. And Sunday morning, Kyle, have you talked about trivia yet?
I have not. You're
so why don't I
go
talk
ahead and
about
announce it.
I'm here. So listen, Sunday morning we are going to do a Hamvention first, thanks to the brilliant minds of Chris Rismiller, who is the forums chair, Kyle Craig, and some turkey from Canada, who doesn't have a brilliant mind, but he's helping out. And we are going to do Cahoots Trivia live and in person. There will be prizes, and some of the prizes are very nice.
Evan's asking if there'll be a unicorn mask. I think that's what most people want to know. Would the unicorn mask make an appearance?
Well, I don't know. We might do a whole round on unicorn.
So we'll see what we can do about the unicorn mask. So yeah, indeed. So that's happening Sunday. And then if you're really bored and you're really tired and you need something to help put you to sleep, just stay in Forum Room 1 because at 10:30 I am presenting. So they were really scraping the bottom of the barrel to ask me to present, and I said yes. So here we are. And I'm going to talk about not spending money and a unique approach to how to design and build your own Go Kit up before you pick up the credit card or fork over some cash to your favorite candy store.
Are they going to have a translator to translate a boot and all those other words you said?
You know, my name is not Stuart Crawford, VE9CF. Stuart is a dear friend of mine, and he does say a boot. No, I say it about. So there won't be many Canadian translations.
There's a slight hint in your accent, Vince, but it's not bad at all. Yeah.
No, well, that's what I get for growing up in Southern Ontario, near Buffalo, right? So
that's right.
That's what it is. So hey, that's what's going on, man. I'm cool. Super stoked. Oh yeah, and you'll find me at Vendor Night at 4 Days in May on Thursday night as well. I have a table there, so I got some 3D printable stuffs and other things. You never know.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. That's what's going on.
Several people in here are. We've got. I think we've got almost half of the crew at 4 Days in May Vendor Night on this live stream right now.
I think so for sure.
That's great. I'll walk around and send invites for Hamvention 2026 when I'm there next week. Say, hey, y'all come on to the show next time. We'll get everybody on.
Yeah.
So thank you, Vince. Thanks for joining.
Jason, thanks for hosting us as always, man.
You bet. Yeah, no problem. Charlie, what's going on, buddy? I haven't heard from you in a long time.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. It's so good to be here and to see all my good friends. Thank you. I'm really excited about going back again to Hamvention. Going to be staying with Adam and Ara this time in an Airbnb. I'm flying out Tuesday, and Adam and I are going to spend all day Wednesday in the Air Force Museum. So
nice.
That's what we'll do. There. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do that yet, so that's what we're doing. And then Thursday we'll do the 4 Days in May. I'm going to help out with that a little bit behind the scenes. I've kind of helped a little bit last year, and we'll do again this year. Then the vendor night, and then Friday got a presentation I'm giving on my adventures up in the Navajo Nation with my good friend Herb, who's a Navajo code talker. So I'll be talking about that.
What time's that at, man?
That'll be fun.
That's going to be at noon on Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Yeah, Keith Schlotman, KR7RK, and I are tag teaming. So he's going to be covering a different topic, but it's the soda presentation. So we'll be doing that, and then I'm just going to enjoy. I'm going to go and try to meet as many folks as I can and just say hi and hang out and just have fun. I haven't really got a lot of plans as far as anything other than that. I don't have a booth. I don't have vendor night stuff going on. I might capture a little video. As you know, some of you may not know, but I've kind of taken a break from YouTube and social media and all that. I kind of had enough for a while, and then I've kind of been low key. But I'm going to be picking that up again in the fall, and I might hit a video or two before then. But I've just been enjoying the time off. We've had a lot of new arrivals in our family, and I've just been kind of focusing on some of my health things. I've lost 55 pounds, and so just
wow! Congratulations!
That's great.
Yeah,
I can see it here, buddy. I can see it here.
It's just been focusing on other things, but I love the channel and I love the YouTubers and I love all ham radio stuff. So I'll be back. Just enjoying the break for a bit.
Nice.
Sometimes we need those breaks, man.
Right. Thanks, here. You can see it, dude.
Yeah.
You lost it. I found some.
Honestly, it looks like your headset is bigger. I thought, but maybe your face is smaller.
I thought he
maybe
had
that's what it is.
bigger cans. I thought.
Yeah.
Well, those right here.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Charlie. I'm glad you're able to join, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yep. So there's a guy in the chat named 250 pounds of Yezu, and I'd really like to know the story behind that. That's pretty good.
I actually met him at Huntsville last year.
Really? Okay.
He's got a channel. He's got some cool stuff on there.
Okay.
Great guy. Great guy. He's a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, Josh, you haven't had a chance to talk tonight. Why don't you go ahead?
Well, this is the first trip to Dayton.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. I'll be leaving out whenever I wake up on Thursday morning. If I'm not going to work, that's whenever I want to, but probably 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm on Eastern time, so that'll put me getting up there probably about 3 o'clock. Got to stop by the fairgrounds, pick up my credential, and then I've got one thing I've got on my plan for Thursday night, and it's probably going to be controversial among you guys, but I got to try Skyline chili. I have heard things about that.
You do not need to go there.
Why would you do that to yourself? Are you a masochist? Are you a sadist?
The other Josh took us there. Was that 2 years ago?
2 years
Something
ago,
like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've had it. I can say I've had it. Good luck to you. That's all I got to say.
The chili dogs, the chili dog platter is okay.
Enjoy your
chili. It's not that great.
Enjoy your spaghetti with water.
Yeah, the hot dog wasn't even that great.
No, it wasn't. No, I didn't like it.
There's nothing good there.
The best thing on the menu is mid.
Is there anybody in here that's good with this place?
If you want a good chili dog, you're going to need to drive a few more hours north and get into Michigan and go to a Coney Island.
Vic in the chat
Coney
says
dog.
it's good.
Listen, I've lived in Ohio twice,
Vic
and I've worked there 3 times. There's nothing good about the state of Ohio.
And Vic in the chat doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, some of you do know that I do work for the University of Tennessee, so go Vols. There is nothing good about Ohio after the college football playoff this year, if you ask me.
Well, there you go.
But I hear you guys talking about 4 days in May. I've not heard of that. I might be interested in checking that out. So
you got to go. You got to go. It's great.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
So absolutely worth your Thursday and the entrance fee.
Cool.
Who can explain what that is? Probably better than I can.
Charlie.
Let Charlie do it. Charlie.
So 4 days in May is a conference that's held in conjunction with the Hamfest. It's a conference hosted by the Amateur Radio Club the QRP Amateur Radio Club International. It's a group of QRPers, and what's special about that is they're like some of the most smartest and well-educated people out there. They're the ones who design and build the radios. Last year, for example, on Thursday, it's a seminar. Is the first part of it. It's 8 hours. Last year, we had the designer of the Elecraft K1 and all the Elecraft products. He was there and gave a talk. And so it's people who are interested in QRP radios and in designing and building their own radios, either through kits or sometimes just homebrew. And so some of the best minds are there to share their knowledge, and all of us go along and just enjoy that. And then a vendor night after that is some of the people like Jonathan here, who he created his own radio, and I don't know whether he's going to be at vendor night or not, but people who develop their own products will be at vendor night selling them, and they're things that you can't usually buy them other places, or if you can, it's you have to pay for shipping and stuff like that. They'll be here. Hans Summers is always there. He'll have the KX, the KMX, or the QCX and all that.
QMX, QCX, and all that.
All of his. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll have to get another kit from him that I don't build and have on my shelf here at home. So that's generally for the last 3 years. That's what I've done. I buy a kit, I take it home, and I've still got it right here. So, but great. Yeah, no shipping and no overseas shipping from wherever he's shipping from. So
so it's a seminar, and then and then there's a break, and then there's the vendor night. Then the following day, it's the Hamvention. So they that Friday you do that, but then that Friday night they have a club night and a challenge where you can enter in a contest to see who. This year you have a microchip and you get to see how much power you can put through it. The person who can put through most power through it without burning up the chip will win the competition. And then the following on Saturday there's a big dinner, a banquet. And there's a lot of recognition. There's usually somebody who is nominated to the QRP Hall of Fame, who's recognized then at that banquet, as well as a lot of prizes are given out. So it's really a good thing, and it's just kind of fills in where it doesn't interfere with the Hamvention. It just supplements it. So it's really great.
Hey Charlie, I got a question. You might be able to answer. Can what is the definitive answer from the QRP International Group on what exactly is QRP as far as power ratings? Because you'll see people running around there at Dayton with 15-1.
Yeah, 1500 minus 1 is
1500 minus 1. Yeah.
I don't think we have a definitive answer. I think there's a recommendation that for Morse code it's 510, and then for sideband 10 to 20. So, but it's in that range. But
if you look at the Q signals, all of them, okay, you read the definition of all the Q signals. QRP means, are you running low power or decreased power? There's not actually a number ever assigned to it. Now, a lot of people will tell you, oh, if it's over 10 watts, it's not QRP. Well, that's you're looking at it from a contest standpoint, because a lot of contests will say if you're doing QRP, you need to use 10 watts or less. Okay, fine. But there's not really to the traditional QR code, there's not actually a number put to it. So I'm a subscriber to 1500 minus 1 equals QRP. That's my thought. But people can say what they want to, I guess. So.
It depends from person to person.
Yes,
most people say 5 watts is what I've heard, but I define it as any single digit number of watts is a QRP.
Single digit? Okay. All right. I can go that way.
So anything up to 10 watts.
Yeah. We don't need it to be exact. It's just because half the time anyway, you don't know. You say you're running 5 watts and you could be running 2 anyway. It's just
that's true.
And also, you might be running equipment that you homebrewed, in which you might not even know exactly how much power you're running in the first place.
Jonathan, I think that's a T-shirt. Single digit QRP.
Single digit. Yeah. I like this one right here. Jonathan put in our Zoom chat. Additionally, QRP can refer to questionable research practices. Well played, Google AI.
I also want to point out that with our 30 milliwatts of transmit power, I think Meshtastic wins that competition.
I think Meshtastic would be considered QRP. I'm good with that. Yeah. Well,
there is a QRPP classification.
Yeah, QRPP.
Well,
QRPP. Huh? Okay. Good. Cool. Okay, well, thank you for that definition, Charlie. That was good. Let's see. I'm looking through the list here.
I got something if everyone has chatted already.
I think that, well, I haven't. I mean, Tim's been talking a lot, but he hadn't had the floor. Freddie Mac hadn't had the floor, and Mike hadn't had the floor. So
I'm all good. Go ahead, Kyle.
I was going to say, on Friday night, if you are into music and also into a little bit of comedy, you might want to head over to the Hope Hotel, probably around, 8:30, 9 o'clock. The Spurious Missions, a missions band, is going to play.
Spurious Missions.
Sorry, I always get that word incorrect. They are going to play for the last time at the Hope Hotel, and I'll just clue you guys in. So they'll take songs that you all know and substitute ham radio terms and ham radio concepts into those songs. And they are hilarious.
They're the Weird Al Yankovic of the ham radio world.
Yes,
it's ham radio Filk.
Yes. So just think that they have one song. I'm just going to leave you with this. They have one song. Wild Thing. The song Wild Thing that has turned into Bowfang. So
perfect.
Come out to the Hope Hotel on Friday night. You might even get some free pizza because they have free pizza every night.
They still do the free pizza every night?
Yeah, about 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. It's so late that it's.
Oh, come on, Frank.
I eat dinner at 5:30. 5:30. Like 9:30 comes around, I'm hungry.
This
I'm
isn't
tired.
about dinner, Frank.
Yeah, so
right.
So anyway, Frank, then we got your number, man, because at the Hope Hotel right before the Spurious Emissions is the Flex Radio dinner, and on Friday and banquet, right? And so this Friday night, the president of the International Amateur Radio Union, Tim Elam, is up and talking. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to that. That's where I'll be Friday night. So I guess I'm sticking around for Spurious Emissions.
Yeah. Jeff has got a good comment. Be careful getting into the Hope Hotel. You don't want to go into the Air Force Base. So
yes.
Don't do that.
Tricky turn right there. I found out last year.
Make that right turn.
Yeah, y'all can't flagpole that like you can the border.
I can see Freddie Mac driving into that Air Force
Dude,
base, he doesn't like to make turns. Yeah, you don't like to make turns when they're required, man.
Directionally challenged. If I'm talking while I'm driving, we're all going to get lost. Jason and Rob.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. All right. Cool. Okay, so Tim or Mike, do you guys have anything?
Ready to party? I got something real quick.
Oh, go ahead, Rob.
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that on Saturday morning, the full schedule I don't think's been officially published yet, but Saturday morning for a couple of hours, I'll be at the MSAT booth. So if folks want to stop by and say hello, you'll be able to track me down there. And later in the afternoon, I'll be hanging out with the guys over at Carlson Roof Towers. So those are a couple places I'll be hanging out over the course of Saturday.
Did you get any pictures of the ISS the other night, Rob?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
So pictures from the ISS.
No,
right?
no. So Randy called me on Friday, and I was busy, so I couldn't go out and look at it. But apparently, the ISS did a very low pass, just kind of the trajectory, however the trajectory works, at like right at 9:20 at night. So right after sundown, and it supposedly was going to be really easy to see because
you should have texted me.
The sun was. I should have. The sun was bouncing off of it, so it's one of the lowest passes that it's been in the last couple years or something like that. He said.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like every couple of years, the orbit is such that the timing's right, and the orbit's right, and the thing looks enormous in the sky.
Yes, right.
Did it do that a couple times Friday night? Or was it just at that 9 o'clock?
As far as I know, it's just the one time, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know.
Because I was walking back over to the main house, and I think it was after midnight. I saw a big lit up ball in the sky. I just assumed it was an airplane because that's towards Minneapolis International.
That's no moon.
That's no moon.
No. It was moving. It was moving pretty quick.
Could have been the Starship Enterprise. You never know. They travel back in time a lot.
That happened.
So, yeah. But yeah, that would, supposedly, I meant to text you, Robert, and say, hey, are you going to, but I was, my wife and we were at a birthday party for a friend that night, so I was not at home. But, yeah, I was wondering if you got that. Frank, I should have texted you too.
Yep.
But
I would have gone out there and seen it. I'm looking for pictures. I didn't take any pictures of Dinosaur Valley. Man, I just did a bunch of videos.
Did you go in and see the remains, Frank?
I went into the visitor center and they had replicas. However, this weekend, due to all the rain we got in Texas, the rivers and creeks were so high that it covered all of the dino prints. And the majority of the dino prints you can see and on display are in the river beds. So you couldn't.
Vic says it's not only the whales, it's also the water. Frank got it.
Yes.
What was that? So Mike, you would be impressed with this. So I did a quote at More Expo, and Kyle got it. He was the first one to get it. So Bill had one of his. Bill's in the chat. Bill, you should be in the Zoom right now, buddy. Bill had one of his spiked lemonades, and I looked at it, and it was the big can, the big can. I was like, Bill, you know what that thing will do to you? That'll suck the paint off your house and give your whole family a permanent orange afro. And he looked at me weird, and Kyle said, "Spies Like Us."
That's one of the greatest movies ever.
It is one of the greatest movies.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Okay. Anybody have anything else at all? Totally open forum here.
Yes.
Okay, go.
Where everybody's talking about this new Yaesu radio, and everybody's going to be piling in the Yaesu booth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see it too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also excited to keep my money in my bank account, but there's going to be a vendor
know
there
that
that
feeling
Overrated.
there's going to be a vendor there that hasn't been there since 2019. A vendor who is featured prominently in all of my videos, not all of my videos, but a lot of my videos.
Fail thing?
One Pactenna.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Is going to be.
George is actually going to have product there?
George is having product there.
Oh, yes. That'll sell out in the first 15 minutes on Friday.
That's going to be a popular booth for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thursday night.
Yeah, or Thursday night. Oh, is he going to 4 days? Is he going to vendor night?
Mark, so Smitty, myself, George, the three of us will. I'm sure we're going to be lined up in a row in the room.
Okay.
Yeah. So he has product for the booth as well in Building 3.
He sent me 2 new Pactennas like a month ago, and he makes the winders a little bit longer now, or sometimes he does. And I was like, you know what? I've never actually made a video about Pactenna, so I'm going to do that.
Dude, it's a great antenna.
Oh, I've used it 100 times. I've just never made a video about it. So, yeah. So I'm going to do that at Galveston after we're done at Dayton.
Nice. That'd be good.
He was shocked to learn I do not own one.
That is shocking.
I mean, a lot of people don't own them.
That.
They sell out too fast.
I know they sell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was a New Year's Eve live stream we did 3 or 4 years ago, where we actually got on his. I don't know why we were on his website of all websites, and he actually had stock in there. So literally, it was like for about 10 minutes, and then gone.
That's when I bought mine.
And I swear I ordered one, and so like a week or two went by, and I emailed him. I'm like, George, I didn't get an order confirmation. He's like, dude, I don't see an order for you. And I'm like, well, crap, I had a little bit to drink that night, but I didn't think I had that much to drink that night. So he's like, I'll just send you one. So that's the first Pactenna I ever got. But yeah, we completely nuked his website that night. That was fun.
Yeah, 5 of the 6 of us from Workbench will be in booth 3011, 3012. That's where we're hanging out. And our Bill Curtis, Paul, WD9GCO, the voice of Ham Radio Workbench, our announcer, is going to hang out with us, and a few friends of the group as well. So it's going to be a big party. And I heard some guy who hams harder all the time is going to come and hang with us too. So there we are.
Damn right.
Oh, good.
Damn right.
Yeah, if George,
wait,
if George
Vince,
is there, sure.
Did you say 3012? Did you guys kick the coffee guy out?
The coffee guy, Blind Man Coffee, is he can't come out this year. As I understand, Jerry is under the weather.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did see that there is going to be a coffee vendor out there, though. I'm not sure who it is, though, but somebody.
I'm bringing coffee for sale, but I'm not going to have a booth.
Did you guys?
Are you out yet, Carlos?
Say again?
Is your whole 20 pounds accounted for yet?
I think I have 7 still that I can still sell.
I need decaf, please.
I don't have any decaf right now.
Okay. We can work that out later.
Did you guys at Moore, did you try that get Shiz done coffee?
Yeah, that guy's there every year. I didn't get any this year, but I got some last year. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
There's usually 3 or 4 coffee vendors like that at Moore, and they're all good, I think. I think they're all good. So, I don't know. But
I have a question.
Okay, Frank, go ahead.
I am looking for a good, juicy Hamfest question to ask all of you on screen. And if the chat has a good question that I can ask y'all, let me know. The last one, which was very successful, was what is the mistake you learned the most from in amateur radio? And I want to get the same thought-provoking question. It's just I my brain's gone, man. I need the help from the community here.
I thought you were going to ask if the Smoking Ape ever paid back Big Jim for the pork chop sandwich 2 years ago.
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
That was that one you had at Hamcation was good, Frank.
Oh, I know, and it was amazing. And I need y'all's help to keep up the same intellectual
momentum, huh?
Momentum, yes.
Good.
So I have a regret story I'll tell.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, go.
Don't have a variable voltage power supply if you have little kids.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I think I can see where this is going, but go ahead.
Yeah. Yep.
Was smoke involved?
Very much so. Very much so.
I'm so sorry.
I had a little MFJ power supply. I immediately got rid of that power supply, traded it or something like that. And I just walked in the bedroom after running FT8, and all of a sudden I hear this squealing, and I come out around this corner right here, and this whole shack, office, whatever you want to call it, is full of smoke.
Oh my God.
My screen on my radio, I had a Yaesu 710 at the time. Actually, I'd only had it for maybe a month or two.
Had.
Screen's going nuts and everything like that. I immediately turn it off, take the thing outside. It's like burning hot.
Ouch.
And
oh, dude, that sucks so bad.
Sit it down and all this. And anyway, I got fortunate. I put in a claim with Yaesu and they covered it. I shipped it off.
Really?
That's
nice.
I shipped it off.
But you're making a live recorded confession now.
I know, right?
They don't send you a bill.
There is no intent involved. There is no
You
intent.
would think that the fuse would pop on that thing.
Yeah.
You would think.
I think that's why they did cover it.
Yeah.
It's because it should have killed itself.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of the fuse popping, can you guys see that there? That's my Z-Bit X in pieces.
Oh,
my brand new Z-Bit X in pieces.
That's a brand new radio,
Pieces.
Tim. What'd you do to that?
In pieces.
In
fuse.
No fuse.
No, there is no fuse in it.
No, there is no fuse.
I was just going to mention that too, by the way. I'm glad Tim brought that up real quick. The Z-Bit X, if you haven't heard, it's a all-band, all-mode radio that is at Hamvention probably going to be $169 instead of the $200 with shipping.
Nice.
Because he'll probably be bringing them over. I can't promise, but they usually do. They bring up over all their gear, so he's probably be the best place to buy it if you're going to buy it.
Because you saved on the shipping.
I'm planning on getting one there. I got his S-Bit-X 2 years ago, and I was happy with that. So I'm planning on getting this new one.
I've had fun with it, but this happened literally right before I was getting ready to go film a video and start filming. Vince had stolen. I mean, Vince had put out a bunch of videos, but his were all CW. So he's like,
they weren't. I did one for FT8 and sideband.
Well, you obviously didn't put one in there for battery.
No, you're right. I didn't
orientation, but and actually, and not knocking. I do want to point this out though, and this isn't knocking the company. So this is the plate. Well, I've changed my plate, but there's pluses and minuses in there, and the black wire obviously is the negative side of the battery, and it loops back around and comes around and goes out the pigtail. This plastic frame also has pluses and minuses on it. And they do not line up with the wiring. And that's what I looked at when I went to slap a battery in there really quick. So if you do have one of those, make sure you
double check the wiring.
Double check the wiring. I've reached out to them. We'll see how it goes. I'm not upset if it's just a swapping of the RF deck or whatever, or however they want to help me, or not. We'll roll with it and see what happens.
Ooh, wow.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I blew up my first rack WizBlock Meshtastic node. If the connector fits, that doesn't mean the polarity is right.
Sadly, it does not.
Check that term.
Well, if you haven't ever blown something up, you're probably not a real ham.
I'm not trying.
What is it? Center positive, and it wants to see like 8 volts.
Wants to see between 6 and 9 volts. It draws half an ampere on idle, so it's a hungry radio. but it's driving 2 Raspberry Pi processors. And a nice big touch screen, right? So for what it is, it does a lot of good stuff. I've had a lot of fun with mine. I'm debating bringing it or not to Hamvention because it's a hard screen to read in the outdoors, and that's the one knock.
Center pin is positive.
It's center positive, yes. So I think what Tim is describing, and I had a look at mine because I had mine in my hand a minute ago. What Tim is describing, you can see here the red and black wire on mine. In Tim's case, the red and black wire were reversed by the sound of it, which really surprises me because you're supposed to test every radio. It could be they tested it with an external supply.
So in all fairness, the pluses and minuses line up with the wiring that's on the 3D printed case plate. It was what is inside the frame itself. And based on this, I'm assuming they got frames and put the pigtails on themselves.
That's correct.
As part of their manufacturing process. Because there's a protective coating over the solder joints on there. So like I said, I'm not upset about it. We'll just
you seem a little upset about it.
I don't know, a little bit.
I'm not
upset
about
it.
But
just disappointed.
To Vince's point, I mean, here's a card, right, with all these checks that they did. And I don't think that quality control check was on there, but just saying. But if you do have one of those radios, make sure you double check that because there is no inline. Well, I don't know if I can get detailed enough, but the trace blew the trace off the board.
Yep.
There's a nice clean cut in it. So I don't know if that was by design as its fault protection or what.
A friend of mine, Smitty, commented on the ZBitX, and he says there's a couple of diodes that provide reverse polarity protection, but there's no fuse. But the diodes are at the opposite end of the board from where the power plug is, and so that effectively makes the trace the fuse. You have now proven this to be true.
Yes. So can this be the Gray Man POTA conundrum?
This could be.
Out? Okay.
This could be.
I like that.
Yeah. You got to have one, don't you, Tim?
Yeah, I do. Well, and I was wondering if they had some diodes in there to protect that, but
they do.
Because I was looking at the schematic and I was a little confused. As a professional schematic reader, I was a little confused.
Yeah, there are a couple diodes in there for reverse polarity protection. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I was gonna. Has Paul started yet?
He's getting close or has started already. But yeah, I already dropped the link into his stream coming up once we are.
I saw it a minute, and yeah, he dropped out. And I thought he said he was going to come back, but he might be running on his own thing now. Okay, well let's start to wrap this up. I'm going to turn. Let's see. I'm going to turn. No, I'm not. What am I going to do here?
Yep, he is live.
Show self view, and I'm going to switch over to this screen right here. I've got too many scenes in here. Here we go. Switch over to that screen right there. So, guys, I appreciate everyone who joined us tonight, especially those of you who've not been here before. Welcome to the madness, and I do appreciate you guys coming on here and telling us all about the. Oh, great! Now K5YVY wants to join at the last minute, right as we're shutting down. That's good timing, Joe Brett. I mean, you're a rock star there, buddy. What's going on?
I don't know, man. I turn on the YouTube and I'm like, oh shit, it's Jason, man. My bad. I'm sorry. This ain't the Clubhouse.
And I say the Clubhouse, buddy.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're past your 30 seconds, but I'm like, man, all this talk, y'all talking radios and stuff. It's like I thought y'all was talking Hamvention. You talking about broken new radios and stuff.
Well, we've been going for almost 2 hours, man. We talked Hamvention. We talked 4 days in May.
2 hours.
Joe Brett, unlike Clubhouse, man, we talk radio.
Like the Clubhouse.
Well, unlike the K5YVY channel, I was actually using my little camera today, and I made a video.
Wow.
I'm processing.
What?
So.
That's great.
That's heresy.
Yeah, how about that?
I mean, I'm impressed that Joe Brett's got hair.
How about that? I'm thinking about losing it for Dayton.
Wavy hair, too.
I got to embiggen you.
I may do a fundraiser to see who wants to shave the head at Dayton.
Right. Yeah, totally.
That's totally horrible.
I don't know about y'all. They don't tell them what y'all would draw in it.
I'm in for 20.
For 20, yeah. Yeah. So, well, like I said, we need
hold
to
up the.
No, I'm not. I'm totally. We're gonna wrap it up now that you joined us. So, but no, we Frank, pop that link in there again, Frank. So, Prep Ham Paul, who was on with us earlier, he does a live stream after me on Sundays. He started that not too long ago. So, y'all go check him out. Last time we shared his link, he said that was a record number of people watching him. So, and I love that. I love it when people do this. People say, "Wow, what do we do? We got Carlos over a certain number of subs last time, and we got Digital Rancher over a certain." No, was it you, Rob? Wasn't it you? No, it was somebody else.
You got Prep Ham Paul over 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah. We got him over 10,000, and we got Carlos over like 2,500 or whatever it was. So yeah, I love doing that sort of thing. So it's fun. That's how I have fun. But looking forward to seeing everybody on. Here's a question that I want to leave you guys with, and I was going to bring this up earlier, and we just kind of got sidetracked. I am driving to Dayton. We're going to leave here Tuesday morning. We're going to drive out to St. Louis, and we're going to spend the night there, and then we're going to drive in the rest of the way on Wednesday. Be there early afternoon sometime on Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. Anybody who's driving on Tuesday or Wednesday, do y'all want to set up like a HF talk-in frequency? Like an 8, well, not a talk. Yeah, I was thinking 17 meters. I was thinking 17 meters. Something that's, not going to be too hard to find a space on.
Make me put my tuner in.
So, but those of you driving in
10 meters, and why not 10 meters?
Well, because 10 meters is kind of iffy.
How about
right
6?
over everyone.
On 40, you'll get good continental coverage for people driving in from all over.
40 might not be too bad. Yeah, 40 might
be a good idea.
I think 40 might. Yeah, 40 might not be too bad. So, I might think on that and put something on Twitter or on Instagram or something in the next couple of days. I will say this for sure. We will be monitoring All-Star on the way in. So those of you with All-Star, join 43136, my All-Star club server. Cloud server is what I'm trying to say. Hub, All-Star Hub Cloud server is what I'm trying to say. Club is hub and cloud put together. So my All-Star Club server. See you, Charlie. Thanks for joining, buddy. Yeah, All-Star 43136, and I'd like to do some HF on the way in. So 40 might be a good one. 40 might be a good thing to look at. So yeah, so might try that some as well. So once again, thank you to everybody who joined tonight. If you are going to attend 4 days in May, be sure to check these guys out. I'm going to be there. I don't think I'll be there during the day, but I will absolutely be there for vendor night because that's the part that I like. So, but check out all that stuff. Hope to see you guys in. Okay, NAYO is driving down Wednesday in the evening on Wednesday. Okay, well we'll be there by the evening time, so I don't know if we'll be monitoring. We might be monitoring. So, but that's good.
Monitor the temperature on the cooler.
Yeah. We'll be monitoring how much whiskey's in my glass. So, but yeah, so looking forward to seeing everybody next weekend. Like I said, we'll be there Wednesday afternoon. I'm probably going to do a live stream from the campsite, maybe Wednesday night. I don't know yet. Maybe Thursday night. I'm not sure yet. Well, at some point in time I will. But that's where we'll be going. So 73 to all. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Everyone drive safe, fly safe, have a safe flight out and back if you're going that route. And it's going to be a fun time. So hopefully the weather holds. It looks like Josh was looking at the weather, and he's like, there's a slight chance on Friday morning of rain, but the rest of the time looks great. So prayers that the rain holds off. It is Ohio, but you never know. So
pack a poncho or an umbrella just to be safe.
I carry one with me everywhere I go, so no problem. So 73 guys, thanks for joining tonight. Y'all go check out Prep Ham Paul's stream that's going right now. Frank, drop that in there once more, and we'll catch you in a few days in Dayton. 73.
73. Hi, everybody.
See y'all.
Later.